Hello folks, I'm Wayne McGregor, and today what we're doing is kind of a cool project. As I'm getting ready for my bear hunt, I'm going to Manitoba, Canada with Canadian Wilderness Outfitters, and I'm leaving on Friday for a bear hunt. So I want to make sure that all my equipment is perfectly set. So today what we're doing is we're testing out a couple things. This right here is the Carbon Express 390 pile driver. This crossbow right here came with a scope on it. Now the scope has, and I'll show you a side picture of the reticle in there, it has a bolt drop compensation lineup. So what I've got set up here in the field today is I've got a target out here, and then I've got 20, 30, 40, 50 yards marked out because I want to make sure that I know everything's perfect in that reticle before I go hunting. So when I get out there, I can do a test shot at 20 or 30 yards before I go on my hunt, and I'll make sure everything's perfect. The other thing that I'm trying out today, which is really cool, and I wanted to see how good the video would look, is the brand new Tactacam 5.0 system. Now they've done a really good job with the system. They've come out with it. Here's the remote for it. So when I turn this on, the cameras will turn on independently. So even with extra independent cameras, say you wanted a camera downrange or a camera in your blind that could video you while you're shooting, it's a one button process, which is really nice. You turn it on, it activates the cameras, you hit it, it pauses the cameras, you hold it down, it shuts the cameras off. So you can always hold your battery when you're in the field. So I'm going to do a test shot here at 20 yards. We're going to test out the reticle. I'm going to see how far I can actually go with it today. Obviously in a hunting situation, especially with a crossbow, I'm probably only going to be shooting 20 to maybe 40 yards tops, and I'd say probably it's more like 15 to 25 yards in that range, but I want to make sure I'm perfect and I'm ready to go. One of the things that I wanted to show you was the ability of this system. So this is the FT6841, and it has the FBT44DT, which is the tactical ball head. Now the tactical ball head is set this way because it has a quick release right here. It has Arca Swiss and Picatinny that you can clamp onto. So it gives you a lot of options for clamping, and not a lot of them cost a lot of money. When you have anything that converts to a Picatinny, M-Lock, Key Mod, or Arca Swiss plate, the great news is you don't have to spend another $300 on a gun clamp. Or ours is called a gun pod, but it's a lot easier to carry. It's less weight, so in a hunting situation it's perfect. So in my practice, I want to make sure they're exactly the same weight, everything like that. So I have a 100 grain field tip here, and this is a Lumenok bolt, so it has a lighted knock, and that'll look really cool in the video for the bear hunt. So we're going to load that up, and we're going to get ready to shoot. So now we're going to try out the remote. So hit the power, and there's a little 02 in there, and it says on, and then you'll see these, they're kind of, you can see in the camera it's a little bit bright, but there's a glowing green dot on those, and that means they are recording, and it gives you a timer, so it's been recording for 10 seconds. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shot, I'm going to get everything lined up nice and smooth, put it on my reticle, take it off safety, and there's my 20-yard shot. So now that I've got the 20-yard shot in there, I'm going to hit the pause button on the camera, and then I'm going to actually power them down because I want to test all these systems before I'm in the field. And then it says off, so it shows the engagement of that being off. And now we're going to move to the next distance of 30 yards. So we're going to try out the 30, and I set this position up so I kind of know a little bit of the scope, and I'll show you that over to the side as we go to each position. All right, 30 yards, take two. wheelhouse. One right back to the Tactacam remote. Now, as soon as you turn that on, it's going to tell you how many cameras, and then the starting time says on. So it's really cool to have that digital display right there. So it is shooting a little to the left. So I'm going to make a slight adjustment on that to the right. Okay, I went 4 clicks to the right, so hopefully that'll put me right in the bullseye. Let's try this again. Alright, so another 4 clicks to the right. So hopefully that'll get us all squared away. But one thing's for sure, we're getting really cool footage on the Tactacam right now. My shooting is not going as well as I'd like it to, but even the tripod adds a lot of stability, so it's perfect to zero your guns and crossbows and stuff using a tripod. So it's phenomenal. And right on the money at 40, so now we can move right to 50. Whew! That would have been embarrassing. Right, now we're set up at 50 yards. So what I've got out here, this is the ground tripod. This is set up kind of like our larger precision rifle tripod. It's got the tensioner down here, kind of neat. And I wanted to give this one a shot when I was out here, just to kind of get a feel for it. It's got the same setup. This is the Arca Swiss with the Picatinny and the pan access right there, which is this adjustment right here. And it's nice because you can clamp everything right in. Makes everything simple and easy. Alright, so we're going to get her set up in here now. So I'm going to use the Picatinny rail since it's the same mount that's on the bottom of my crossbow. You can always adjust it or loosen it right there on your clamping pressure, which is nice. Alright, so I'm definitely in the wheelhouse at 50. Let's see what we can do at 60. Alright, now we're going to give her a try at 60 yards. And all I'm doing is just working, and I'll show you off to the side the reticle, and we're just working our way out and trying to find the golden position. There is a lot of wind going this way, so at 60 yards it might start to affect the arrow. That mark right there was a little bit low at 60, so I'm going to throw another one in there real quick and get that spot adjusted. 60, take 2. Alright, so I'm getting a little closer. It's kind of wild how as you get out in distance it really drops down that reticle, so that weight of that bolt, and then 390 feet per second shows you're starting to get the drop off now. So kind of cool that you can check all this stuff ballistically, and always better to the further you can shoot out, the more accurate you're going to be at a closer range. So it makes sense to get as much practice as you can before you go hunting. Whoa, way high on that one. So I think I'm going to cut it off at 50 and then revisit this in a week or so when I have more time. And that way I can hang out at bear camp and just focus on my 20 and 30 yard shots for hunting. But I'll wrap this up next week. But we got out to 50 yards successfully. 60, I'm kind of all over the map, and then we'll find out from looking at the broadheads and the arrows and everything where we're at. So, and as always, be safe and shoot straight.